Welcome to Ni Santas Ni Diablas,
where we are unapologetically imperfect.
Join us as we defy society's labels of what it is to be a good girl. We are your hosts, Kay,
Miriam,
and Rami. Welcome to the safe space.
Oh, that part we say together.
We did it again.
Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back, guys. We have a special guest. I was gonna say,
but first,
we were gonna say replacement. I was gonna say replacement. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
Don't Wendy Williams her.
It looks a little different. It's just us two, me and Rami today.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Michaela is out a little sicky. But here we have the lovely Marcia, aka my sister, big sis.
That's my sister. That's my best friend's sister.
Raised together.
Raised
in the
together.
trenches together.
Facts.
In the bancas together.
Literally. I feel like,
Facts.
well, I've known her as long as I known you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a duo. Like, they come in a pack.
Yeah, it's like monotone, more monotone.
Because you thought she was monotone. That's monotone.
It's like,
Who's
deep?
deeper?
Yeah, exactly. And we had a whole fight about it. It's like, no,
Whose voice
Miriam.
is deeper?
You know what? I'll take it. I don't care. I'll soothe you to sleep.
DMX and more DMXer.
Stop.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, you can go since you're one.
Oh, what?
A firstborn
Oh,
daughter.
yeah. So today we're talking about being a firstborn daughter. I'm a firstborn in general. I'm just the oldest, but I'm also a girl. But Miss Marcia here is the first daughter.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, Miriam has told us in the past, like her family, like, I guess setup or structure or like components. I don't know.
Sequence.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But like, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, so I'm one of 8. I'm actually a twin with a boy, so that's another layer to it.
I'd be forgetting that all the time.
Yeah.
They look
all the
nothing
time.
alike.
Yeah.
Nothing.
He looks
And
like a
he's
gringo.
boy. And he's a boy. So I'm just like, who's old? Oh, they're twins.
Yeah, especially when guys approach me, I'm like, I'm a twin. I'm like, just kidding. It's with a boy.
Like, oh, so I get 2 for 1.
2 for 1. I'm like, nah, chill.
I don't think you want that.
He's 6'3" and he is a boy. Yeah. So I'm the 5th. So it's like 5, 6, and then there's Miriam, and then there's my little brother. So I'm the first girl. So yeah. So it's like, 4 boys ahead of me, and then somebody like my same age. So that's a layer to it as well, because it's just like, as like the first girl, it's just like, all right, I can't do this, but my twin brother can do it. We're the same age.
I was just about to say, like,
Yeah.
literally, you have someone, you can't be like, oh, it's because he's older, because you guys are literally the same age, and he's actually like what, younger than you?
Yeah, like I think.
How many
I
minutes?
think it's 8 minutes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Yeah, Gladys was just like, she ain't play games.
8 minutes, 1 and 2. She's like, y'all ready? I'm ready. Are you ready for the next one?
So what did you realize being a firstborn daughter came with? A lot of responsibilities and like pressures and all that. At what age did you realize that?
I think it was just like always a thing. I think our parents were always about being independent, but also knowing the traditional customs and cultures of like, especially since they're immigrants themselves. And my mom, for my life, she has worked out of the home, but like for my particular existence, she was a stay-at-home mom. So she had to take care of the household, cook, clean, do all that stuff. And she's like, I'll be damned if you embarrass me on these streets with unable to cook and clean and maintain a household. She's like, I want you to be able to do those things, but also be independent. And then I feel like at times, being raised as the first daughter, I think she was also conflicted of like, how can I push her to be independent, but also be follow the culture and customs of where I come from.
Because she was the firstborn daughter as well.
Yes.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
She was. Yeah. And El Salvador is so much different than like suburban Middletown, It's definitely different. So I think it's just something I always knew, and then especially reinforced as like having a twin my same age. It's like, okay, I have to stay in the kitchen and help clean, cook, and I need to watch and learn how to make tortillas, learn how to make sopa, and also like make sure lunch is done for my dad who comes home from work and things like that. So
is there like a particular situation that you remember where you were like, oh, I have to do this versus my twin who doesn't have to do this?
Yes. I think it was like,
how long is the list?
How long is this podcast? Yeah. I think one of them, like the early on ones that I remember it was like a snow day. We didn't have school, and my mom literally wouldn't let me play in the snow, but she let my twin brother play in the snow, and I had to stay inside, help her clean the kitchen, help her make food for everybody.
How old were you?
I was like, I would say like we were in the so I was probably like
in the
7.
new house.
Yeah, it's like I was probably like 7, like or 6.
Young,
yeah, I was young, so I was just like, it's literally not fair. And like I think my parents always said I had a chip on my shoulder, but I'm like, you implanted that chip because like because I was just like, he's literally playing in the snow because I had 4 older brothers, so they were actually like plowing and stuff like that, shoveling, doing all that stuff, and he was just playing in the snow, and I was like, why can't I play in this?
Yeah, like we're literally the same age.
Same age. I was like, what's your excuse? And it's just like, no, you have to, help me in the kitchen and help me cook. So that's like maybe my first experience with that. Yeah.
So I know you have like mad brothers ahead of you. Like, what is it, like 4?
4
brothers. Do you feel like, have you seen any differences between your eldest brother, the responsibilities he had, versus you being the eldest daughter?
That's kind of difficult because himself is an immigrant.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, it's kind of difficult because we had like totally different lives, but
totally different upbringings.
So it's really hard. But I think as well with me, my oldest brother, we are able to converse more easily and be understood and respect each other's opinions, because I think we were the only 2 as parents in my sibling group for the while, for the longest. And we would be able to have conversations about different things, and it's just like, okay, we get it. We got to boss up and just do the damn thing. Yeah.
So do you feel like he was like the older brother of the older like group, and then you were like the older sibling of like the younger set? Like if you divide them by half,
I don't think so.
I don't think so because
I think it was Marcelito.
Yeah, he was like the head of that, even though he's like the youngest of the 4.
He was kind of the oldest of the younger crew.
So he was more of like that big sibling figure for you guys.
Yes.
Versus like your older
yes.
like Pedro.
Yeah, like my oldest brother Pedro would be like my second dad. Okay. That's what I would say. Like, he will let everybody know that he changed my diaper and her diaper, like
did my hair,
everything,
all that stuff.
So he'd be like, yeah, I'm one of 8, and he's like proud of it. He's like, that's my babies. Those are 7 babies, and now he has his own babies. But yeah.
Interesting. Do you feel like there was like a difference when it came to like church and expectations in the church, because you guys were all raised in the church?
Definitely. I feel like at the first like female, I think they always pushed me to try to be like maybe like a female,
some type of role in there.
something role, or like be the female version of my dad. Like I didn't like be a preacher, do those things,
or
like
be a teacher.
Yeah, because like I was my dad's fake secretary for the men's ministry, like since I can learn how to type. So I would do, like, I look at my past one, I was like, I made the letters blue, and like nobody said anything.
No, I feel that too.
Yeah,
because like he wouldn't push me, but he would like try to put me in these positions to be like a teacher, and like I tried that for a while, or like just be an assistant and try that for a while. So it was kind of like that too.
But he never did that for the boys.
The boys always did like music, so that like I feel like that sufficed,
but not all of them.
Yeah,
not all of them. And the ones that didn't, not really. Besides like Josue, he just does like the background sound and stuff. But the older ones that didn't do music, he didn't push them to do anything.
So they were just like chilling.
Yeah. He wanted me to be like, I don't know, long skirt preacher chick.
Guerrera.
Hair to the floor.
Mustache on fleek. Like, you know what I mean?
They don't like, they don't take care. Well, not take care. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like they don't wax. They don't pinta el pelo. Like they don't do that stuff.
No. Yeah.
Oh my God. So like aside from household and church, what other pressures did you come across? Like school, work, career?
I feel like school and career, like you have to be an example for, your sister, or, you have to be an example for your siblings. And like, I think a lot of we came to this country, so you better like make it worth it, I feel like a lot of people can understand that. Like they sacrificed a lot, and, it's also, they made it known in a lot of different ways. Like, okay, you better not mess up because you're letting us down.
That's our name.
Like you did this to us. Like we did this, it's like self-serving in a sense, but I get it. I mean, they want the best for us, for me, but it's like a lot of pressure, especially as the first girl. Like, okay, you can't mess up, like it's just like, what would people think? Especially like being raised in church, there's like 20 billion people watching. And like,
especially you guys.
Yeah.
You guys
especially me.
You guys are on the pedestal.
Yeah.
I don't want this pedestal. I want to be with the common folk.
And I think that's what deterred me when I was younger to do those positions. I'm like, no, I'm already judged for the regular. Why am I going to add another layer to this? Yeah. Like, no.
That's crazy. Because I, like I said, I'm the firstborn, and like, me and my sister are only like 18 months apart. So not that I don't feel like I'm the oldest, because obviously like I made it known I was the oldest like all my life. But it's like we're so close together where like I don't feel like I had that much of an impact growing up as her.
For
like,
her.
For her. For my brother, yes, because we're like 5 years apart. So that's why I feel like me and my sister are more like, I don't know, on the same level. Like there's little things I would say, like maybe if I did, I don't know, because I feel like she was always like in advanced classes.
She was always like,
so
doing her thing.
Yeah, I never had that ripple effect with her. Like I didn't pave the way for her at all. Like we kind of did everything together.
I feel like in some ways yes, in some ways no.
How far apart are we?
We're like almost 2 years, a year and 9 months. Girl, happy first birthday to me.
A year and 9 months. So that means you guys are 12. Oh, like 20 months. Yeah,
20 months apart.
Yeah, something like that.
But there is some type of like ways where she paved the way and made an influence for me.
Yeah. And like I'm the black sheep, so there's nothing Mira can do that they will be like, no, Miriam, and be like, nah, Marsha did it.
Yeah. That's how I feel with my brother though, because I feel like I paved the way a lot for him, and I stick up for him a lot. When it comes to my sister, it's like also maybe because of who my sister is, like she's like very by the books. She follows everything my parents wanted for us. Yeah. And like I said, I'm more of like the rebellious one out of like the two of us. So I feel like if she was more like rebellious, maybe we would have like, Rami did it, so you don't have to worry about Ramsey. Like, but because she's so like by the books, like they don't worry about her.
Yeah. So like, she's like, everything I envisioned for y'all, she did.
She did everything, which like I'm like, whatever.
Props to her. She living her life.
I don't have to deal with it because she's already doing it. Yeah. Like, oh, we wanted a doctor. Well, you got one.
You got one.
You got one.
That works out.
There you go. Yeah. So like, I feel like maybe if she was a little bit more risque in her like choices, then I'd be like, oh well, I did this, so like you have that range, which she could still do, but that's just not who she is.
In some ways I have that freedom, but in some ways I don't, because I think I'm not as by the books as Ramsey, but sometimes I kind of do follow that, like, I don't know, that
like it's don't worry about
that like outline that they provided.
Yeah, sometimes I do follow in that sense, but like I said, not as big as Ramsey, but I do have my risque moments.
Yeah, you do have your risque moments. I feel like there's like, I think different little things, especially being raised in church, that I kind of lead the way. Like we couldn't pierce our ears. Ooh, my bad. At like 21, I was like, I'm going to pierce my ears. And I told them, I was like, it was like a whole moment. And you would think it would be something so simple. But I was just like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is my body. This is my choice. And I am grown. I pay bills. And then I did it. And then when she did it, they're like, oh, okay, Marsha already did it. Like, it's okay.
Like they didn't give her that much heat for it.
No.
Did they give you any heat, or were they like, whatever, you're 20?
No, he always has. He would just be like, oh, okay, I respect it, but just know I don't bless this action, and I'm not like for this action. But you are an adult, so you can do that. But if you get an infection, don't come crying to me. If your ear falls out, don't come crying to me. That's basically.
And then he's like, tattoos over my dead body. Like that one is over his dead body. Like
till I move out.
That just means till I move out.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
and then he don't have to know.
I'm already the black sheep. What more can I do? You know.
Another pressure I forgot to mention earlier. Revolving, like, is that revolving? Is that the word? Surrounding. Same shit. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Love life.
Yeah.
Like, how was that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like dating.
I feel like I like.
How do I say this without saying it?
I don't know, like, to be honest, but not to be like my business out of these streets. But I feel like I kept it super private because I didn't feel like I can speak to them about it.
You didn't feel comfortable enough for that trust.
No, I completely didn't. And I was just like, it's already rough out these streets as it is.
Yeah.
So why am I going to tell them and make it where I can't even see the day of light? You know what I mean?
No, it's true.
So that's what I felt at that time.
Now, was your twin brother like more open about dating, or like?
No, but I think the one that's like the big brother.
Yeah, the one.
He would have shorties pull up and pick him up. Like, I was like, I can't do that.
They were aware.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, one of my brothers, he had a gringa girlfriend for a while. He was always out with her. He was like 21, 20, always hanging out with her like every single day.
Yeah.
And it was like normal. Like, it was nothing. Yeah. And I'm just like.
And how old was he?
Like, I can't even have a guy
He was
friend.
like 20, 21.
Yeah.
And you see me at the age of 25 trying to like do shit properly and respectfully.
And he was just out.
He was just out.
He was out. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. God forbid a guy said hi to us. We were out at the age. God. And we're like,
I don't know you.
I swear I don't know.
I swear you don't know him.
I don't know him.
He thinks my name is Maria.
And then like Gladys would look at us like,
literally.
How you know? How does he know you?
Facts.
Or just like grill him. I'm like, and he'll be like, you got it, shorty.
Like, don't say nothing. Don't keep it moving. Did you ever call your parents out on it? Like why is it that so and so?
You have.
That's me.
Yeah.
I pull the trigger. That's where I help Miriam, because I would be like, this is not fair, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm like how's that? Like, I would be like, this is pure sexism. Like, I was just like, this is misogynistic. How can he do it and not? And I think in high school, like prom, they were gonna not let me go to prom, and I was like, my twin brother is literally going to prom and I can't go to prom.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I'm gonna go regardless, and they were like, they had to just accept it, because they're like, okay, they literally couldn't say no. Like, it's just like a whole thing.
Now, when you try to go to prom, did they give you any issue? Or they did still?
Yeah. Only because like they found out I had a boyfriend, and it was a whole
oh my god
thing. Like, it was like a novella. Like, it was so much.
And then looking back, you're just like, it was literally just prom.
It was just prom. Like, I had a little boyfriend, and I mean, he's my boyfriend again, but
I had to be her interpreter. They'll be like,
I wouldn't talk to them. Like, I literally
for months.
I literally shut down for months. I was like sad, depressed. Like, I didn't even know I was depressed, but like, it felt like it.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Yeah. That was like, I was just like, I don't know. Ask her yourself. Like, I would just be
they wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't talk to them.
So you held it down with the communication.
Always. Like Miriam would be in church and then be like, how are you? And she'd be like, look at me, and I'll be like, she's good. She's good. Like, I was always her interpreter for any situation. To this day, at times, I'll be like, I got it.
I'm like, Marsha, can you do it?
Can you be politically correct for me? And I'll be like, I got you, girl.
Yeah. What are big sisters for?
Exactly.
Literally.
Like, I feel like if my sister ever came up to me and was like, hey, can you like hold it down? Like, I would definitely do it. Like, I'll take the L for her, because I feel like I've taken so many L's with my parents.
Yeah.
Like,
what's another one?
What's another one? It don't affect me. I'm like, well,
round it up.
And now that I'm out the house, like, I'm just like, literally like, what's the worst? Like, they love seeing me. Yesterday I came home, my dad's like, oh, you're here visiting us. I said, whoa. I still have a bed, right? like, I know I never wanted to be kicked out, but like, I want to come as I please and leave as I please.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, you're visiting us. Like, good to see you. Nice. I was like, you haven't seen me in like 2 days. Relax. Relax, Raphael. Like, I did
longer bills with his bids when I was living here. Like, you didn't see me for 5 days and I came back.
But I feel like as an older sister, like, I will just take the L, because I feel like we're just born to take L's.
Yeah, I would get in trouble for stupid things, and it would be Miriam. And I'm like, I'm not gonna even like correct her.
Like, what? I need examples.
So this one time.
Oh wait, don't embarrass me though.
So my mom would be like very like protective of our hair, you know, long hair. She wanted us to have like long, luscious hair. So she was like, you can't use this certain comb in the shower. It's going to break your hair. Like, you can call breakage. So she keeps on finding in the shower. She keeps on going in on me and like, are you dumb? You're going to break breakage. You're going to have like
and
short, like, no, it was this chick. And then like, it was the third time. And then she was trying to get buck. And I was like, no, it wasn't even me. And I just like went off because I was just like quiet. I was like, let me just take it. And then because she was going off about something I did. And then like she rounded that.
Oh yeah.
That
she
thing.
loves to add stuff on.
Add stuff on. And then that particular time she was getting buck and it was just about that. And I was like, honestly, it was Miriam, and I just didn't want to add her because I'm like, you're already yelling at me, and I just like, what's the point of yelling at the both of us? So I took it, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, she's like, why didn't you say it earlier? I was like, again, like you were just yelling at me, so might as well just yell at me.
Yeah. There's no reason to throw her under the bus over a comb.
Over a comb. Yeah. I was like, you're going in about a comb. Like, let's be real.
What are other ways that you made like my life easier?
Getting pregnant.
No, she pulled the trigger. No,
that was I feel like, you know what, you should be thankful. That was the biggest sacrifice she ever did.
Was it though?
I mean, I feel like it was a curse and a blessing.
It was a curse and a blessing because like after that I feel like I couldn't mess up. Not saying like not Naomi, I love Naomi. She's not.
I love my
too.
daughter.
She's not an error. She's not a mistake. She's a blessing.
That's
but like,
my niece, and when people ask, I'll be like, "That's my god baby."
Literally.
I don't care.
No, she's like, Remy, that's auntie.
That's auntie.
She's auntie.
She's like, oh, Remy hasn't seen me in a while, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know. She's still with Rob. She's like, how's Rob? Like she'd be asking everything. So we're raised religious. I had a kid out of wedlock. That's not something that they, align, traditionally with Christian customs and things like that. So I think that's a barrier that I, broke the mold for unintentionally, but I think it made me who I am. I love being mom. I love my daughter. I 100% like help my relationship with my parents. They're crazy about Naomi. Like,
oh yeah, my mom tells me all the time.
Yeah, like
that's your dad's like pride and joy.
Pride and joy. Like, yeah, like she will wake up and she'll be like, "Where's Papa?" Like if he has to go do a mandado early in the morning, and he was just like, "I'm sorry, I didn't tell you." She'd be like checking on him.
She checks
checking on him. So I think there's that, like, because obviously, nobody wants their child to be like a single parent. Yeah. And my mother was raised by a single parent, and she knows how it is to be like a daughter, and especially because I had a daughter, and she got pregnant. We got pregnant like this around the same age. Like she got pregnant at 20, I got pregnant at 21. I had a kid at my 22. She had a kid at 21. I believe. Yeah. So I think in that way, I kind of made it I made it easier for her because it's just like, just don't get pregnant like her. Literally. Yeah, just don't,
the bar was kind of like set, like a little lower. Like all you have to do is not get pregnant.
Yeah, and then you're good. Yeah, you can like not go to college. You can do whatever. Just don't do that.
Yeah, one of my brothers, sorry to cut you off. One of my brothers is like, Miriam, no. Like that's not happening. Like no, that's not an option for you. Yeah, getting pregnant. I'm like, aye, Captain.
Yeah, and that's funny because that same brother was just like, when I told him, I was like hysterical on the phone, and he was like, "It's okay. Like, you're 21. Like, we'll figure this out."
Like, 21. Like, you're an adult. Like, yeah, it's young, but at the same time, it's not 16.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm like, you can get a job. He's like, you just gotta like buck up.
Yeah, you just gotta, grow up a couple years. Like, do what you gotta do, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would say that's a barrier that I broke unintentionally. But
now, do you think if you got pregnant, you would get the same backlash she did at this point?
Am I married or am I not married?
You're out of wedlock. Same situation, but like let's say at this age.
I don't know. I feel like it might go left.
I think it would be the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing. Yeah,
it would be the same thing.
So she would get yelled at too.
Yeah. It would be
like setting that example.
Yeah, look what you did, blah, 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 blah. And then they would just hate us for life.
Yeah.
For life.
Yeah.
not even to be dramatic.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say much, but I think that the motherhood journey has also broken a barrier for Miriam. Like, I think prior to having a child, I wasn't the most empathetic person, and that made me become very empathetic, and I think even help guide Miriam in certain situations.
Yeah. Sometimes she's like too empathetic. Like, I don't want to cry right now, but I appreciate it.
But she's a crier, so it doesn't take much.
I am.
But like, I think there's times, especially because my mom has been like out of the country for the past couple years, like for the most part, where I'm able to like just flex into big sister role and then like fake mother. Like I know I'm not her mother. Let's get this straight. She knows you, like, you ain't my mama, but like I can like comfort her or help guide her or be like, hey, I understand you're feeling this way, but let's look at our options in this situation. And like being also a supporter, like, because life, that's the biggest heartbreak. What you want in life, trying to achieve and being ambitious, it's a road of heartbreak, trying to figure it out.
Sure.
And
especially now in our 20s,
especially now in this one in America, it's hard out here. You see the gas prices anyway.
We always talk about those damn gas prices. Every episode is like, damn, shit went up again.
I'm about to start walking anyway. Yeah, so I think it's just like not being able to like physically see your mom, just having a hug and having that one-on-one and that physical contact and be like, okay, I'm gonna ride this out with you. You don't have to do this by yourself. It's 3 a.m, but like, hey, let's eat some snacks. And watch our comfort shows.
That's right.
And like, we're gonna plan this out. Like, and it's like, I think as an ambitious person, sometimes like things happen along the way and you're like, I freaking failed. Like, I'm like, no, it's not. It's just like a redirection for something else. And it's just like, I think you get it too, because you're very much a planner and you're just like, oh, damn, this is not going to plan. This is all I ever wanted.
And you get frustrated. I feel like with like I said, with my brother, when it comes to like barriers, I feel like I don't want to say, like, I don't know if it's breaking barriers or my parents just got lazy. Because it's a fine line. I feel like my brother has
bit of both.
I feel like my brother has a lot of freedom, but I don't know if it's because like in my 20s, like I was kind of like more craving that freedom, and I took the freedom. I didn't ask for the I kind of just took it. And then they saw like I was okay. I like to think about it like that. But then my parents are getting older. They're like in their mid-50s and they're very lenient with my brother. So like, I don't know if it's just like a mixture of like, oh, well, your older sister did it and she's fine, versus like, we don't got time for this. Like, we're ready for retirement type shit. So like, that's where I'm just like, I hope I broke that barrier for him. But I definitely feel like I broke the barrier when it came to like career-wise. Because I not even broke the barrier, I defend him a lot. Like I take a lot of battles for my brother because he's not that great at communicating with my parents. And I feel like it's because he's scared of them. Not like, ooh, like they're gonna beat me, but like scared of like what they're gonna say, or he doesn't have that confidence, or like doesn't feel like that open line of communication. And because now I'm older and I've been there, so I don't want him to experience that. Basically, when it comes to like school or like things he wants to do, like vacation, like at his age, I wasn't able to vacation. Like,
where was I going?
To my brother's house. To my brother's house.
Like and then he went like on a whole vacation with me, and like we plan trips all the time. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll tell my parents, oh yeah, Randy's coming. I think it's more because like maybe I'm there, and like he's allowed to do more things because of me. But is it really breaking a barrier?
You're just helping him.
Or I'm just like
being an ally. You just being an ally.
You know what? Yeah, it's definitely being an ally
for sure.
Because
I'll continue.
Because like if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be doing like the things he's doing right now. Like barely, he went back to school, but like taking a break from school, like oh my god, that was like hell no, and that was a whole fight, and I would defend them. And I actually told my parents like, hey, like just so you know, I took a break from school. I just didn't tell you guys, and I'm fine. And like he's doing it, he's being open and honest with you guys, telling you, and it was like COVID, like nobody wants to go to school.
That's depressing as it is.
I feel like a lot of people went through some shit during this time. So
it's still going through some shit.
But it is what it is. Yeah. He took his break and he's fine.
So how has your relationship with your parents, our parents, how was it growing up?
I think it was very authoritative. I think that's the word.
Dictatorship.
No, I'm not gonna say that. But I feel like they wanted the best for me and all the opportunities for me because they didn't have that. I think now looking back at 27 and being a parent myself, I get it. They had the best intentions and they loved us to death and they just wanted to protect us. And they found religion as a place where they found refuge and like able to grow with that. And they had a support system through church. So that's all they really wanted for us. But I think at the same time, I wish they were able to be open to know that that's not the only path, you know, it's their way, you know. And I feel like I took what they gave me and I found my own way. And I think, you know, now that at 27, like I really did find my own way. But
how was like communicating and talking and like that openness? How was it
there
growing
is
up?
Zero openness.
Okay.
There is zero openness. I feel like my personal life was very a separate entity. It became a very like, you know, I never talked to him. Like I like the boy. What? Why am I gonna like punish myself?
I just want to be happy.
Yeah, they're not gonna let me out. So I think I just didn't have the ability to speak to them on like a lot of things. I think I kept the majority of my life away from him. Like I just did what they needed me to do, and that's pretty much it.
I feel like that's the same across the board though. I know we mentioned this in another episode, how like I just kept to myself. Like it was like you're in a shell and you're just like, no, it's better if you don't know who I am, because like I don't want to get yelled at about certain
you're
things.
Not gonna like it. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. So it's like weird because growing up, I feel like after the age of like maybe 10, like 10 to like whenever you're ready, your parents don't really know who you are. Like they still like all they know about you is what they knew like before you were like 10. Like if you ask your parents like, oh, like what's my favorite food, what's my favorite color, they kind of revert back to like what you liked when you were young, and you're just like, no, like I'm not the same person. So same with my parents, like I didn't really communicate with them, and if I communicated with them, it was only about like accomplishments. I'd be like, oh, I got an A on my test.
Always school. That's the conversation. It's
I
like
got an A on
always
my
good.
test. Oh, like in church, like we're gonna do a pantomime and like and stuff like that. But other than that, none of that was happening.
How is it now?
I would say that I think I'll go back when I was younger. Like it's in a sense you kind of live two different lives in a sense, like one to like my friends and just trying to figure me out, and then one to like your parents, which at times it was like overwhelming. Like I don't know if you guys face that. It's like overwhelming. Like you go to church and you have like all these people looking at you and are like having their ideas and things like that, and then their expectations. It's a lot. I know at times, especially when I started getting older, I'm like, I don't like feeling this way. Like I wish I was able to be like, hey, this is what's going on.
That's what it is.
And like when I was, now that at 27, I wish like I told them more, but it's just, I don't think they were ready for certain things, especially as a first daughter. It's just like, I think they said at one time, they were just like, with you, we just really didn't know what to do.
I feel like it was like a trial and error for them because they were used to raising boys. And then you came, it's like,
it's more,
how do I redirect, raise her similar to the others, plus, you know, add, you know, trying to raise her to be a wife and, you know, and a good mother.
And I feel like, not to say guys aren't emotional, but there's a sense like with girls, sometimes we need that more like comfort and emotion and like that caring and nurturing. And I feel like sometimes like it was there in a sense because my mom was very nurturing, but then again, it wasn't.
I think me and my mother are very similar in a sense. So it's like, me prior to having my daughter, I don't think I was like I was emotional like in like a hard sense. I think a lot of my friends, or I think you said it one time, you're like, you're like a iron bolt teddy bear. Like you, on the outside, it takes in the deep layers. You're like soft and mushy and empathetic, but it's gonna like take you a while to get comfortable. Yeah. Like I'm gonna be like, oh well, like like So I think it's just like seeing yourself in another person, like how you influence that person of bringing like a tiny little person. I think as a parent, you kind of like your issues, not I wouldn't say issues per se, but your characteristics, seeing them in another person, and you're like, oh wait, maybe I need to work on that because I'm seeing that in like your kid. We're all more open, but I feel like I still have a little bit of me that keeps a lot of things private, just this is how I function for so long.
Do you think it's because you're still at home, or do you think you'll still have, some things you keep private even when you're out the house?
I think it's just who I am. Okay. Like I'm very protective of like, certain things. And I feel like I'm more open to like talking to them about it. And I know I have like, I know like now at 27, I kind of like went back and told them certain situations, and they're like, I really wish like you came to me because I would have like avoided this hurt.
But then it's like, would you have?
Yeah.
Like I didn't have that confianza. Like I didn't have that trust with you because I'm concerned about like you're gonna say.
Yeah. How you're gonna react.
Exactly. Like you say you're gonna be like, oh, I wish you opened up, and it's just like,
yeah.
Are you sure? You just want to yell at me,
right?
Yeah. But I think it's a very growing as well, because I think now at my age, I'm like, they're just humans. They were just trying to figure it out with me, and they loved me unconditionally.
That's true.
And they were just doing the best they can with the tools they had. But what I'm appreciative about my parents, which I know a lot of people don't have the same experience, my parents are trying to grow.
Yeah.
They're trying to grow as parents. Yeah. Even at, us being 20 something and my oldest brother being like 30 something, they're still trying to like grow constantly grow and have conversations and be like, how do you feel about that? And, I think at times like we know their limits, but at the same time, they're open to push wherever they're at, the boundaries.
Yeah.
They realize that how they were before doesn't work now. Yeah. And they realize like there's some things that they need to work on as well. Yeah. So I'm very appreciative of that as well, because I feel like now it's like I can talk to them a little bit about dating, and I feel like more comfortable with that. Yeah. Obviously to a certain extent. But like even like other things that are very emotional for me, I can talk about it and not feel like a sword. Like, it's like they're gonna stab me with their words.
Yeah. Especially Gladys. She'll be like, hi. And it's funny because it was like I would think like a year ago, my mom was like, so when are you gonna bring somebody home? Like, you guys are getting old. So the three of us, it was me, Miriam, and my twin, and we're just like, we're like, what?
I was like, what?
We're allowed to talk to somebody?
We can say hi.
Is this you granting us permission?
Right? I was like, girl, you never said that a day in your life.
Bruh.
Yeah.
She's like, you got a boyfriend? You're seeing someone? I was just like,
is this a setup?
I was like, who am I talking to? Like, what is going on?
Exactly. And then she got into TikTok, so she be sending me stuff. I'm like, all right,
the TikTok
sis.
she sent you yesterday. Bruh. TikTok about serving herself food.
Bruh, she sent me a TikTok. She said in our group chat, it was like,
I didn't read it.
She's like, este plato es muy grande para una mujer. And it was like a full plate. Yeah. And then she was like, this is the plate you need to serve yourself. And it was like everything but smaller portions. I'm like, ay, Gladys, like, no.
Homegirl loves to eat. I'm a foodie, so.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, what inspired her. She was like, you know what? My daughter's be eating way too much. Let me say this. They need to know how to serve this, especially they're gonna start dating.
Yeah, that's probably. She's like, you gotta keep your body right. She's very like body beauty. Yeah. She's a material girl, low key.
Material girl. That's where you get it from.
Shout out to her because she had 8 kids, and the snapback is real. People be like, that woman had 8 kids. I'm like, that woman had 8 kids. She's like this.
She looks good for having 8 kids.
Facts. Yeah, I don't know how she did it.
Could never be me.
Could never be me.
So going a little bit back to responsibilities, is there any like for sure responsibilities that your parents were like, you have to do this, you have to be in charge of this and that for your siblings?
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Especially now, like as the years came on, just more responsibilities because my mom went to go to El Salvador to care for like her family. So I would have to cook, clean, make sure there's like different meals. My dad works, so make sure he had his lunch, that there's dinner for Josue, make sure Josue stuff, help facilitate any school things, like making sure that everything's on task, take care of my dad, like, you know, make sure he's like going to his appointments, things like that. Parent teacher conference I'm a part of, making calls for them, because like some English stuff, like they know English, but like some like it's verbiage or vernacular they get tricky on and they don't understand, understandably. So that's kind of me cleaning, just laundry. All the domestic stuff ends up being my thing.
And is it for both of you, or they kind of put you in charge and you're just like, yo, Miriam, help me out?
No, I think I take some of it, but not as intense of, let's say, like cooking and groceries. But for me, it's like little things here, like at the end of every month or at the beginning of every month, me and my dad sit down and do bills together. Or like insurance stuff, like health insurance stuff, I take care of. So there's like certain things that
you just took on.
I took on.
It
so
wasn't like you have to do this.
No.
Versus like they were like, okay, like did they ever sit down with you like, oh, I'm gonna be leaving, like you're the woman in charge? Okay.
Yeah, she definitely was like, you have to like make sure your dad is
basically good. Do what I'm doing because I'm not going to be in the house and you're next in charge. And
she's like, I've been training you since you were walking, so like, you know, you gotta like do what you gotta do. I think at times she comes back and she's like, you're doing this too good, like she get mad at me.
You're trying to take my spot.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely sit us down, like, you know, ask questions. Like she'll call me still and be like, where's your father? And I'm like,
she be checking. Like she don't call me to talk to me. She call me to see where my dad is at.
She's like, when you see him, you know that's me.
When he comes home, I'm like, your wife called. You gotta call her. She's tight.
I feel like my parents left me, like literally one thing growing up, always it was like I always had to know where my siblings were and what they're doing, because my dad would come home from work and be like, oh, where's your brother? And
if you don't know,
God forbid I said I don't know or I'm not sure, how do you know where your brother is? That is your responsibility to know where they are. So if your brother was kidnapped, you wouldn't know. And I was just like, I don't think it's that serious. They're probably upstairs or something. He's like, okay, so don't say you don't know. You know they're in the house, so why would he tell me that you don't know where they are?
Oh my God.
I think I pushed that responsibility off. I'm like, I'm not accountable for nobody but me. I know where I am at.
That's growing up. I always had that responsibility. But I think that's kind of like the only like just kind of like keep tabs. Now he's kind of just like, sometimes he knows that it's difficult to talk to my brother, and he knows my brother has opened up to me about certain things. So he'd be like, oh, like talk to your brother about, you know, this and that, see what he says. Like I tried to talk to him and he gave me the runaround. And I'll be like, all right, I'll try. But you know,
that's funny because that's what they do to me for her. Because she's Mr. Shutdown. Like you provoke her too much, she gonna shut down. They'll be like, hey, is everything all right with her? I'm like, yeah, she's just like feeling discouraged. And they're like, okay. I'm like, you just do something a little encouraging for her. And they're like, okay, I got it.
No, that does happen. Like this one time my dad was like, you know, you just gotta push through life. I'm like, okay. And he talked about it right before I left to work. So I'm like walking out the door crying.
Yo, he loves that. I remember one time he was dropping me off at work because he needed my car. And he's like, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, ah!
Literally.
Yeah. Literally. I was just like, oh, that made me water.
Right?
Like,
me too.
Oh.
Stop.
Jose be making me cry.
Oh, dude. You don't got to say much and it makes me cry.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Like my dad's the more affectionate parent. So like he's not a man of many words. So when he does say something, it's so impactful. And I'm a daddy's girl. Like he says to me, like I was like this when I'm
mean,
like,
mom was affectionate towards me.
Yeah, she was affectionate, but I think I was just like too alike like her.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Like, where we didn't just like, you know, we're the same person.
It was more like a little bit like, instead of like blending in and you know being cohesive, it was kind of just like
we're too similar.
Magnets.
She has like, I feel like she does have a soft spot for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah,
she does.
Oh yeah, so
she really
like,
does.
I don't know why, but
she always did. Yeah, 100%.
I think
she's a baby.
I think that too, and she just like thinks of me as her sometimes, like the way my body is and stuff like that. She just like thinks of her.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you should wear this or this, that, and the third. Like I don't know.
Maybe like she's just trying to like, I don't know, live what she couldn't through you.
maybe like appearance wise, but like my life wise, not really.
She's pretty. Like,
yeah.
And I think in ways I'm very different than her. Like I think I've been through a lot of things. I look different. Like my body shape is totally different, you know. My personality, we're similar in a lot of sense, but in a lot more sense we're different. Like we're very like, I'm all about like, you know, I was always younger, like female empowerment, but then they were like, no, not too much.
Simmer down.
Sit down. Yeah. Yeah, but very different. I think at one point, like in my teenage years, she was like, I really can't understand you. Like I really just don't. It's hard for me to understand you, like where you're coming from and all this other stuff. Yeah.
So a lot of people, like I've been seeing on TikTok, you know, like when Encanto's still big, but like when Encanto
unpacking generational trauma,
they milking it though.
Like I get it, but then it's like
no,
it was a lot.
Like okay, so watching it, like I don't know if I'm just like I don't want to call myself stupid, but like I just don't look into things. I was like, I watched that, so it was a good movie.
Yeah,
that shit was cute. It was just cute. Oh my god, I like the music and everything. And then I go on TikTok and it's just like
this whole thing.
I am Luisa. I carry like I feel her pain. I was like, what's donkeys? Like,
your back be hurting because you be carrying donkeys.
Like you be doing that because I don't be doing that. I don't know if I just don't look into like I'm sure. Like every movie has its theme and its background, but I just like,
I kind of felt it. Yeah, with like Isabella, you have to be like perfect.
You are definitely.
That's Isabella. How I felt. Like I had to be like perfect in the what they
fit
envisioned,
the mold, what they wanted to do. So you feel those pressures.
Yes.
How about you? Do you feel like a Luisa?
Yes and no, because I think like my mom wanted us to do so much, especially in El Salvador, where like being a woman, you don't have as much opportunities career wise, and like they come from a culture where you needed men for a while just to survive. Like you need to have a stable man or a hardworking man and rock with him even though he's toxic as hell to be somewhere. And I think she had a pressure like, okay, you have the opportunity, I sacrificed a lot, we're in America, I want you to make that worth it, I want you to like be someone independent but not too independent. I definitely felt that pressure. And I feel like I kind of understood the grandma in the movie where she was like, I went through so much heartbreak and like
displacement of like family, like that's a lot,
and losing people and the heartbreak and being separated and just a lot of things that she couldn't even deal with. Like she like with carpomment, I can't even say that word.
Carpomment.
Commentalizing. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't speak in English.
Yeah, you kind of get that, and you just like, and the grandma's just doing stuff like she loves the person, and she's just doing her best intentions, but she's going about it the wrong way. And I think that's something that I can relate to, and like my parents being like, hey, I had the best intentions in this situation, and I thought what I did was the best move,
but now I have to change it.
You have to change it.
Try to do something else.
And now that you're an adult, you're not of a role of a child, you're able to say, hey mom, I want to talk about X, Y, and Z. And then, I understand you love me, and we're coming from a place of love, but that wasn't the best way to handle that situation. You had fuel to the fire, like gasoline explosion.
Did you relate to any of the characters at all?
I have to think. Not really. No, because you know what? Maybe bits and pieces.
Like a little bit here, a little bit there.
A little bit here, a little bit there. Like, like Luisa in the sense that, like, the pressure, but I feel like I put the pressure on myself.
You do for
like,
sure.
The pressure
you add on like 10 more donkeys.
Exactly. So like,
damn it, that wasn't enough.
Damn, you didn't have to do that,
right?
Because like I feel like my parents, like my dad reassures me. He's like, oh, his goal was always for us to be a level higher than him. But I wouldn't be
that's always the goal.
Oh, that's what they always say. Like literally yesterday.
Yeah. So like, but my goal is to be like 10 levels higher. So like, I'm already a level. He tells me all the time. He's like, oh, at your age, I was, struggling with this and that. Like, and you're already making X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, yeah, but like I could be making,
I could do more.
Yeah. So I feel like I add the pressure to myself, but I don't feel the pressure from my family. I feel more like I like to like take care of my family, but like especially my mom, because I know she sacrificed a lot. Yeah. Like she could have been a career woman and she decided to stay at the house and take care of us. Yeah. And coming here and having nobody and everything. So I feel like the obligation of kind of, especially as like the firstborn, like holding it down for my mom. Yeah. Like my mom shouldn't be paying for anything. That's how I feel. Like if my mom wants something, like I'm like, oh, okay, like I'll buy it for you. If we go,
you want both of those colors, you get both.
Yeah. If we go shopping, the only thing I really let her pay is for groceries, because I'm just like, damn.
You know what we gotta get. I don't know.
But like if we're out and like I'm almost always like, oh, I'll just pay for it. Like don't worry about it. Like you're good. Yeah. When we go out to eat, me and my sister usually, my mom never pays. Like it's either me or my sister paying. So I feel like that. With Isabella, like I feel like not really. I feel like Isabella is more like my sister. Yeah. Like she's more like my sister. Like my parents, I don't want to say molded her, but like my parents had expectation, and she's like a people pleaser, which is not always a bad thing, but she is.
Sometimes it is bad.
It can backfire.
It
can backfire, and I feel like sometimes you forget, like, okay, like
I am my own person.
Who are you doing this for? Literally. Is it for them or for you?
Constant in my head.
Exactly. So like I feel like she falls under that. And I don't know, my brother's his own character.
He's Antonio.
My brother's just living his life.
The rats told me.
But yeah, it's just that. Yeah, there's not like one character, because I feel like I've been pretty set. Like I feel like just it's basically my sister can 100% relate. All right, so we're gonna play a little game. It's basically Miriam and I are gonna present Marsha with 2 situations each to see if she would cover for her younger siblings, particularly Miriam. Okay, so I'll start off with one. So like, let's say I'm talking from experience with me. Like, let's say your sister was like, oh, like I'm gonna go to work, but I'm really gonna just spend the day with my man. Can you cover for me? Like, and you're like, okay, whatever. You don't think anything of it. But then you get a call from your parents, and they're like, "Hey, like I passed by the pharmacy. I didn't see Miriam. Like, where is she? Like, have you heard from her? Like, what time did she work till?"
I would cover. I'll be like, oh, Rami had an emergency. She's an emotional mess. Like, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend stuff.
No, because then Pa is going to talk to Madi and they'll be like, oh, what's going on?
We know. We can't use,
sure.
He's going to be like,
we established this a long time
ago. Not
ago.
about this life. Long time. I've been out of this.
Yeah, we established that. Like, when it comes to me and Miriam, because they be talking.
They be
talking
chatting.
A lot.
I'll
be like, I don't like that.
Y'all know too much.
I'm trying to think. I would cover. What would I say though? I feel like I would cover. I'd be like, oh, she's on the way to come pick me up or something. Like on the way to come see me or like come back home.
Left or
yeah, she just left. Like something like that.
Let her go early.
Or like,
but then you gotta call me and let me
know.
And
I'm
after. For sure.
I'd be like, oh, she needs to get like maybe like like a certain snack for Naomi or McDonald's, a Happy Meal, like. Milk something out of it.
Always bring food home.
He's like, can you get me? I'm like, I already told them you got it for me. And you're like, oh, right, Marsha. Yeah, maybe something like that.
That makes sense. I have one. What would you do or would you cover if I came home hungover? Like like a mess.
Like how much of a mess? Like throw up?
Let's say like drunk versus hungover, because I feel like you could cover a hangover.
You cover hangover. Okay, drunk.
But how belligerently drunk are you?
I'm like, hey, like I'm not. I can walk still, but I'm like a little stumbly
and loud
and
very loud.
Nah, because our mother has like the smell of like a hound dog. Like she was
very true.
You walk, no,
literally. She'd be like.
It smells like Casamigos.
She was like, I smell alcohol.
5 shots of Patron.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
So no, you're not covering. You're like, yo, you got to take that L.
No, I remember when I was pregnant when I first found out. I'm like, she gonna look at me and no. Before I told her, I was like, Like no eye contact. Yeah. No, it's a dub because I'm
taking the L.
She's taking that L. I'm like, you get book if you nook, whatever you gotta do.
Now, what do you cover Miriam if she's like, listen, my boyfriend and his family are going out of town. Like, do you think you could go out of town and we could just say we're together?
No, that's too much.
It's a lot.
Because what happens? She gets a car accident. Like, God forbid.
I always think about that.
I have the worst
or
luck.
Fire.
Yes.
Or fire.
Yes.
I always think about like, dude, like, what if I lie and they'd like think So I don't really lie about like
where you're at,
where I'm at. Like if I'm saying I'm in the city,
you're
in the city. Yeah. But like I'm never like, oh yeah, I'm at work, like, and then I'm in freaking Arizona.
Yeah, like that's bugging.
Like that's OD. Like what if something happened, plane crash?
Yeah.
Or like there's a fire. Like God forbid, a car accident. Like
or I get human trafficked. Like you never know. Things can go left.
Like I don't know. Like I'm scared. Like my parents need to know where I'm at. At least the area. So if they know something happened in New York City, they're like, oh, she's in New York City. Maybe they're not gonna know I'm like at Taj. But like they'll know I'm in the city.
General location.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. It's just too much.
It's a lot.
That is risky.
I feel like I wouldn't be able even to relax that whole vacation either. I'll be like on 10.
What would it take though? Like, what if it was like, oh, I'm sleeping over like my man's house? Like, do you think you could cover for me?
I feel like that's kind of sticky.
That's sticky. Yeah. I don't want the smoke. It's not worth it.
It's not my smoke.
Yeah.
I feel like I would cover like if it's a local sleepover, like I'd be like, okay, like I'll cover.
Yeah.
But you have to send me your location 24/7.
Ignorance is bliss for me. I don't know nothing. I don't see nothing. I was sleeping. Like I was tired.
She didn't tell me.
Yeah. That's one of those situations.
I feel you.
I forgot the second one I thought of. I forgot. I know there was a drunk one. I forgot the second one.
Was it like a date?
No. Oh yeah. Okay. So what if I went on a date and I just didn't tell mom and dad like who I was with?
She wasn't answering her phone.
Yeah, I wasn't answering my phone.
I would cover because I'm like, your personal life is your personal life. Like I don't think they need to know every detail as your parents. Like that's a little most. Like I don't want to know all my daughter's nitty gritty. Like when she's older,
nitty gritty.
Yeah, like you can have privacy, you know.
So what would he do though? Because she's not answering her phone. Her parents are trying to call her, but you know she's on a date and you know where she's at. Like she said, oh, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, something sweet.
So me and her in the same phone plan, I'd be like, my phone is bugging too. Like it's just I gotta call the carrier. Can I use your phone? Like just like something like that. And they'd be like, oh, but I'm like, it's the Wi-Fi. Her work don't even let you use the Wi-Fi. Like something like that. Like
and they'd be like, oh
yeah.
Because I used to do IT, so they'll be like, oh, Marsha knows best. Like it's fine. Yeah.
Damn, we gaslighting our parents. That's crazy.
I'm telling you, strict parents make the best liars.
I know, definitely. Back in the day, I'm not about that life no more.
I mean, like I said, I'm more open and honest because I'm not scared. Like I'm not scared of them.
I'm not. I'm like, it is what it is. Like,
I think like very few times. Oh, you were saying something?
No, it was just back in the day I used to lie my ass off.
Same. And like, I think one of my older brothers was like that. It's like, Marsha, I'm not sure if you're telling the truth because you will lie, but you're really good at it because you would have like A, B, C, plan Z and like background. Like I'll
tell you a whole story.
A whole story.
Who was there? Oh, it was freaking Ashley, Miriam, freaking Michaela was there, but she kind of left early, so I don't think you want to call her.
Yeah. She got man.
Yeah. I was like really good. Yeah, really, really, really good. Yeah. But one thing about lies, they go crumbling down after a couple years. Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with them because they're lies.
Yeah. And like after a certain point, I felt bad. Like I think you get the pressure of the overwhelm. Like, all right, I have 2 different lives. I want to have one life. Like it is what it is.
That's where I'm at right now. Like I'm just like, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
I come as I am.
Exactly.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I'm like that. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Or, like some things are, again, my personal private life. But certain things I'm like, yeah, I'm open to if I bring somebody home, don't be shocked, like things like that, but not like, oh, I'm going out on a date right now. I'll be like, oh, I'm going out.
Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Do you have any advice for any other firstborn daughters?
I would say honesty. Honesty.
That sounds a lot.
I know it's like simple, but it's like impactful. I feel like sometimes maybe they're not ready to hear the truth, but I need to get that off for me, for my own growth. Like maybe in 2-3 years, you remember this conversation when I said X, Y, and Z, and just let them know, hey, this is coming out of love. You might not, there's been times I had conversations, and a year later, she's like, no, you were right. And I'm happy.
It's always a year later though.
2 years, girl. Like it's like, what is it? Business years. Yeah, I would say honesty and like just being, because everybody walks their own path, and just knowing where I'm at or my perspective on things, that's really has helped me grow as a person. Because like I try to be a very positive person, very centered and like positive, like just live my honest truth, because I think knowing that you're not me living the most honest truth, it's overwhelming. It becomes toxic at a certain extent.
For sure.
And it deters my growth. So like I'm 100% about honesty and growing, and just being with like-minded people, or just bring positivity and growing. So I know I've had hard conversations with the people I've loved in the past, and just being honest. I know being an oldest daughter is not easy, but saying, hey, I understand that you're coming and you love me, but this is not a way I need to be loved, or I don't appreciate this.
Yeah, I feel like my advice would be just to have patience. Like, have patience with your parents, which is hard, especially growing up, because you get so frustrated. But just like you mentioned earlier, like they're just trying to figure out just, how you're trying to like manage through life. They're going through it at the same time you are. Like with us being the first daughters, it's the first time they're having a daughter date. It's the first time they're having a daughter going through like puberty. And so like they're kind of just adjusting as we're growing.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes as children we forget that like they haven't raised a daughter. Like that's why it may be easier for like my siblings, like my sister. It might be easier because they're like, oh, like, well, when Rami had her period, we did this. Like, maybe we'll try doing this. Yeah. Or like when she like was starting to develop, like even something as simple like, oh, like we used this, that didn't really work with her. Like, let's try this with like Ramsey.
She taught me.
So that's wild. That reminds me of a memory. So when I had it prematurely, and I had it really early, and she had this whole thing like taught me. And then I went to her and I was like, Miriam has her period. She's like, now it's your turn. And like basically like
I had to teach
Miriam. I had to teach Miriam. Like I was in charge of that. Like I think that's in a way the first daughter, like you have like this maternal responsibility.
No, it's true. I'm very maternal towards my siblings. Like even with my sister, even though we're so close, like I know right now financially, like she's going through it. Like she has a wedding, she's going through medical school.
Oh
so like
she's getting married.
I know, but like there's a lot of things where I'm just like, oh, like I got it, don't worry about it. Or like, oh, I'll pay for this, don't worry about it. Like I got you. But like I feel like that's just like a big sister thing, because I don't know if like my sister would. I know my brother never, and you know how much I baby my brother. Yeah. But like not for nothing, I don't feel some type of way. I don't want him to feel some type of way. But like he would never like go out of his way and be like, oh no, like I got dinner. But like I always cover him.
I feel like that was me, but Miriam, I would say the last 2 years has grown to be like, I got you, Miriam.
I'm growing.
Yeah, she was like more like Randy, like, what? I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on you?
I don't even think it's like, I feel like he doesn't even think about it because he's a baby. Like he doesn't even, it doesn't cross his mind. But for me, because like you said, like we're more like nurture. Like we want to make sure our family's good. Yeah. Like that's the first thing in my mind. We go out to eat. We're like, oh, don't worry, I got it.
Yeah. I think because like mom wasn't here, so I just feel like I had to like do better. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, like book up, girl. Right. Yeah, and I think me and you are similar in a sense. Like we about our money. I think all of us, we're going to be working. Before I even was a single mom, I had like 2-3 jobs.
We started working real young. But yeah,
was good.
I think that concludes our episode on like firstborn daughters.
Yeah.
This was fun.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah. I feel like we're sisters, you know.
Yeah, we literally.
Like we grew up together.
Like what's it called? When you just like leak on each other.
Drive. Mix it together.
Next time we have to do it with Ramsey to make it official. Because we still have that pact. I don't know if you remember, Rami, but I did mention it to Miriam the other day. Since we watched the Sisterhood of Walking Pants, remember we went to the theater?
Walking Pants. Walking Pants.
You know, traveling pants.
Dude, why did my sister just mention that the other day?
Stop.
No, for real.
So we're going to Greece.
We're going to Greece. Remember we said that?
Yeah. My sister was just like, man, we were talking about vacation. She's like, I still want to go to Greece, but like just like how they did it. Like Sisterhood of the, I was like, who? She was like, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Like, oh my God, remember that? That's so weird.
It was like the first time we went to movies with our friends, and both our mothers pulled up and made sure that it was us.
I remember. I was like, this is a big deal.
This is a big deal.
We're going to the movies in daylight
with our friends. It was our first one.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that movie. I'm so down.
Yeah,
me too.
I know if my sister's down.
I'm down.
Yeah, I was just like, we have to live our childhood dreams. Like, so I was like,
buy pairs. Now we can buy a pair of leggings. Like we all fit into leggings.
Yeah.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Leggings.
Yeah, we gonna do something.
Fabletics,
jeggings.
But yeah, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah, have me again.
Hell yeah,
for real.
Yeah, maybe do a cooking thing. Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah,
a little mukbang.
Yeah.
Well,
hold up in this.
First of all, y'all owe me like 50 pupusas.
We owe everyone.
Like, I know. Every time I want
we owe everyone.
They're like, that sounds like a lot of work.
It's funny. Like old flames will hit me up and be like,
old flames.
Old flames.
With an S.
Old flames.
Plural.
Will hit me up and be like, I had a pupusa and it's just, it doesn't hit.
It didn't hit.
How are you doing? I'm like,
no, it is
wait,
different.
The food or let me stop.
Redacted.
Well,
sorry, it was right there. It was right there.
That was a setup. That was like, what's it called? Like when they in basketball, that was like a
slam dunk. No,
layup.
No. It was like a, I don't know, like when the guy,
I don't know basketball.
The guy sets you up and then you could dunk.
A setup.
Isn't that layup? Rebound? No,
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing
about
sports.
Embarrassing. I know in volleyball, like you know, that was a setup.
How does it look? L or which way does it look? Yeah, we're gonna take that L.
We're just gonna take that out. We just don't know. That was a bad like reference.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can follow us. Oh, you can follow Marsha. What's your Instagram?
It's so unoriginal. it's literally Marsha _Marsha and then 2 A's, but like I spell my name Marcia.
So
secondly is Marcia _Marcia. Spicy.
Very sensual.
I used to work in customer service, so I'll let you girl.
You can follow us at Ni Santas Ni Diablas on TikTok and Instagram. You can also follow us on YouTube at Ni Santas Ni Diablas. We have our audio podcasts come out every Wednesday and our videos come out every Thursday. So you can listen and then watch us because the visuals are important.
Look at this earring visual.
Oh my God.
Earring cam.
Bye. What is it? Drop the name, girl. Drop the ad.
Digna's jewelry box.
Facts. We haven't even dropped that on the freaking podcast.
No, because I was just waiting.
We gonna plug this right now.
Yeah.
You see this? It's giving.
Nice.
Spring line. Working on it. Don't worry.
It's coming. You know what? Real quick before we like officially end, how ironic is it that you guys didn't have ear piercings like till like you were in your 20s?
Yeah.
And you have like a whole like earring jewelry.
Yeah, because I always
wanted it.
I always wanted it, and then when I finally had it, and I'm just like, I want to do so much with it.
Yeah.
I always wear the most extra earrings, and my dad's like, I'm like, I don't care. My thing's worth it.
Yeah. Like I wish I had that. Like I've had my ears pierced all my life, and guys, I like wear like the most basic
studs.
I know.
I'm a stud girl. Like I mean, so it depends on the outfit. Like I'll switch it up.
Switch it up here and there.
If it's like a wedding, like I'll wear long earrings. But like every day it's just like studs.
No,
Like I don't even pay attention. Like sometimes I feel like, ooh, I need to change my studs. Like I hope they're good. I hope like, or like
my ear's still there.
It's
stuck.
It's been there for a while.
It's up and it's stuck.
But yeah, so that was just a side note.
Yeah.
Well, that is all.
Yes.
It's time to say goodbye.
Deuces.
Bye.
Peace out, people.
Sayonara. Ciao.
Bye.